Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at the Transformers Collaborative Transformers Cross G.I. Joe. We have Autobot Kup as the Triple T. I believe it's the Triple Team Tank from G.I. Joe. And I've reviewed all of the, G.I. Joe figures so far. We started with Megatron, we had Bumblebee, we had Soundwave. I'll say this just right off the bat, spoiler for the review, this is the best of these figures that we've gotten so far. As you probably know, I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan, so I don't have a lot of context on this thing. Megatron as the Hiss tank, from what I understand, it was like an okay Hiss tank, and I knew it wasn't a very good Megatron. Bumblebee's vehicle, it was kind of loose and flappy and not that interesting. Soundwave was, in my opinion, the best of the three that came out so far, but Kup seems to blow him out of the water. We have, first off, what is a compact and solid vehicle mode. This thing rolls on casters, which I appreciate that the casters are here. It also does come with, and again, me not being a huge G.I. Joe guy, I'm trying to remember, Sergeant Slaughter and Leatherneck. This is the first time I've actually taken one of these things out of the package because I just don't care about G.I. Joe. They are, I think if you like G.I. Joe, these are good G.I. Joes. I always thought the attraction to G.I. Joe was that they came with a ton of accessories that you could put on them and stuff, holsters and stuff like that. The fact that these guys just come with a stick and a gun and a backpack is a little disappointing. I mean, it's kind of neat. You can swap the backpack out, but I think it would have been cooler if we had a hip holster, some more accessories, if the point is to gear up your little dudes, then let's really gear up your little dudes. It is also kind of an odd size for me. It feels like they're not 6-inch figures, they're 3.5-inch figures. So it's big enough that Kup does need to be big, but it's small enough that they don't really go with your 6-inch figures. I think I would have preferred almost mini figure size for G.I. Joe, but I recognize that's not what the toy line is, and it's not for me. But you can have your Sergeant Slaughter come in here. It's got a little joystick so you can drive his truck. You can come out on the back end. There's a hitch here, so I think you can tow other G.I. Joe things. It's got his name on it and stuff. You can open the back end. There we go. And if you open the back end, there's a little spots for more figures to stand. So you could actually have 3 or 4 back here. But you can have Leatherneck back here, manning the console. I don't know. I guess this tank seems like it's some sort of communications vehicle, which is kind of neat. But yeah, you get your little Joes on here. It's the first time I've really checked out that pattern because it's the first time that the vehicle mode has been compelling enough for me to do that. That's probably all I'm going to do with the G.I. Joes, though. But it's neat. And we have some nice paintwork back here. We got the screens painted. I think I would have preferred if we had some tampographed, miscellaneous, letter texture or something. We've got keyboards. We can close this back up. We have the wheels that I mentioned. I do wish that we had some metallic detail painted here, but we have plenty of other details, here, property of the United States. We've got our serial number. I'm sure that is some sort of G.I. Joe reference. I just don't know what it is. We've got, the big old USA flag, the Autobot symbol, the G.I. Joe symbol. So plenty of little tampos here and there. We also have some missiles here. We've got missiles on the sides as well as these guns, and these guns do articulate, which is nice. So overall, this is a cool little tank. This is, I guess, in my mind, this is the opposite of the Hiss tank. I have given away all my G.I. Joe figures, crossover figures, so I'm not able to do a true size comparison here. This feels about the same size as Bumblebee's thing, smaller than Soundwave and the Hiss tank, but about that size in terms of the G.I. Joe scale. And then it also transforms into a Transformer, which I recognize this is the first time I haven't just immediately done the transformation. We're going to flip our little joystick in. We're going to pop off our missiles on either side and the guns. Those all come off. Then we can come in here and we're going to open up these tabs here on the sides. That lets us separate out on either side our tracks, which you can see kind of pops this front section out and separates out our back. It does a lot of splitting. And same thing on this side, make sure things are split out. We can separate things into essentially two halves. We'll start with the lower half. We're gonna bring down the legs, and again, really nice ratchets on those knees. We can come in and we can pop the front of his tracks off, and it rotates down. Same thing on this side. That cover section just kind of comes down. I do like that. It sits really tight against the rest of the tracks, and it gives room for us to come in and flip and lock that in. I do wish this mechanism, so there is a tab here that goes into a slot here. I just wish it kind of had a click. If there was a little bit of a like size change on the tab, so it just clicked into place. But that's a minor complaint. It's still very secure. We flip out our feet on either side. If these haven't come undone, we can pop that out like so. Coming in up top, we are going to flip around this section of the front of the vehicle, revealing some Kup abs because he's got that tight old man bod. And then we can come in and we can stick those sections in to kind of complete that look, which I do appreciate. I think it's a pretty good look for Kup. I gotta always remember how this folds up like so. We can come in on the back now, and we are going to separate. The arms are pegged in here, nice and secure. We can separate out this section. It's on a little hinge, double hinge, that we can rotate out and away. The arms, with that out of the way, the arms can come up on either side like so. And then we just got to do our head reveal. We're going to open up this section, and then we're going to pop that head out. Again, it's just a nice little transformation. With that head out, we can fold that in. Things seem to like this back section. I didn't even mean to do that, but it does come down and it kind of clicks securely. And then the arms, they have little locks here that they can click securely on. And then you can close up the chest there. Those tabs, like everything just feels, this is to me by far the most secure. Oh, listen to those shoulder joints. The most secure of these figures. We can lock in those wrists like so. Then the last part is just these backpack sections. And we just kind of fold them up and out of the way like so. Then we have the missiles. This section has been revealed. This is the same tab that the missiles can go on, and the gun goes on top of that. So it's got kind of a weapon rack up top. Same thing over here. Put this missile on, and put this gun on. And yeah, he doesn't come with, I do wish he came with some sort of big gun, maybe a gun that, and then we can fold these down. Some sort of big gun that could have, sat on top of the vehicle mode, and then he could hold it in his hand. He can hold these little guns. Like if you really want him to, you can take one of these off and put it in his hand. But I think that just looks dinky and lame. He can't. Also, the kind of this back section of his vehicle mode can open up like we did before. And if it comes down like so, you can have like a dude mounted on his back, shooting, that sort of thing. I think that looks, there we go. Like that looks kind of cool. It shows the scale of the robot to the characters. Like that is a nice big Kup. If I'm comparing him, to my two Joes, one Kup, we can stick him on like so. And yeah, it's a nice scale. For the first time, like this is the part of the toy that has interested me. So in a lot of regards, this has succeeded on several levels. It's got a cool vehicle mode that I actually wanted to play with. The Joes are ancillary to me. but they do both have nice mustaches, which I appreciate. And then this robot mode is just solid and pretty neat. It is a very nice head sculpt, nice and big, articulates. It does have a hinge that it can rock on, so you get plenty of motion and it can wiggle and rotate. You do have 360 on the shoulder. It can also go out that far. Despite this cut, it doesn't really limit the motion that far. You do have bicep swivel here. You do have slightly deeper than 90 degree because of the way these two sections are cut. He can get nice and deep there. You've got wrist rotation. You do have waist swivel here. Oh, and again, the ratchets really help this toy. He can do the full splits, you know, full Van Damme. He can kick plenty high. He can kick back in a satisfactory way. Actually, let's put that up, and then maybe he can get things up. If you get enough of his kibble out of the way, I think that's like satisfactory. Not great, but okay. He can bend, again, 90 at the, like, look at the angle, the way this joint is designed, right? The hip cut is forward of the ball, and the way things move out of the way here, it gives you a 90-degree knee bend, even though there's this kibble on the back. Is like, that is good engineering. That is good design. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got a ankle tilt. The only thing he's really doesn't have is forward toe tilt. But on a toy like this, I mean, this is an exceptional G.I. Joe crossover. I think it does a very good job there. And again, the G.I. Joe crossover is like, I could compare it to other collaborative figures, but those exist in the Transformers scale. They're scaling with other Transformers toys. This guy, I mean, if we're talking with like another truck, you know, these are supposedly like the same size vehicles. And you can see here like how the scale is different. Kup is a big boy. He's, you know, a little bigger than leader class Grimlock here, which is plenty impressive. I realize I got to take off Grimlock's sword, so I remember to put it in Swoop's box. But like, he is nice and chunky, really satisfying. This went from the G.I. Joe crossover line being like kind of one of the lamer toy sections of Transformers to being like up there in my, this might be one of my top 10 toys of the year. He's, you know, not quite Commander class, but similar to that size. He feels good to play with. He articulates really nicely. I give, like, it's a satisfying transformation that is simple. I got through it very fast, but it does a lot of things. The joints involved are really, really nice. I highly recommend picking Kup up. I got mine for 80 or something. I'll check it and I'll put the number up here. But if if there's a Black Friday sale or something, and you can pick him up at the leader price point, I highly recommend it. Even if he's more expensive than that, I recommend him just because of how fun he is. This captures that Titan's Return play pattern that I've been really, really wanting to recapture again. This is just a good toy, easy recommendation. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving weekend, and I will catch you all later. Bye!